Welcome back. In this video, we're going to work on our first AutoCAD assignment, problem 3-13. So after you're done watching the video for the lecture, chapter 3, part 1, orthographic projections, you should be able to open up the incomplete AutoCAD file that I emailed you. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through this and how to grab the files from Canvas and also how to get it from your email. So I placed the lecture notes, the assignment, and the incomplete AutoCAD files and 3D models into Canvas, and also sent you an email with those attachments, and including this YouTube video that you hopefully already saw. All right, so once you're done watching the lecture, go to my ECC. So once you're logged into my ECC, your setup may be different. Student setup might be different from faculty. So once you're in my ECC, look for Canvas and go ahead and go into Canvas and go to your courses. You can also go straight to your calendar. So I'm going to go to CAT 5 2021 Spring, right? CAT 5-7308. That's the section number. Okay, so here's the information about the class, and you can also go to your calendar. Okay, go to your calendar, and here's the assignment for this class session. Okay, so this is chapter 3, lecture part 1, and also the assignments are included, so you can just simply click. And you can go ahead and watch or get a view of the PDF file. So here's the lecture. Okay, so hopefully you already saw the lecture video. Here's the PDF file so we can preview it. Okay, so there's the preview. We can also open it in a new window or new tab. So I'll just open up the lecture notes in a new tab. Okay, so click on it, and you can see there it is in a new tab. So I can click over here. So here is the PDF lecture for chapter 3, part 1. So you can either allow it to load and watch it from here. Okay, so this is what we covered in the last video for the lecture. Okay, if you want to download this PDF file, you can always click. Okay, so if you click here, it'll download it. So keep an eye on the bottom left corner. So I can click if I want to download this PDF file and save it on your desktop, your flash drive, external drive, etc. So you can click on it. Right, it's going to download it. So it's going to download it into my downloads folder. So if I go open, so you can see up here, it currently has it in my downloads folder, as you can see. Okay, so if you want to save a copy of it, or I should say move it from the downloads folder and move it to your flash drive or a folder on your desktop, go to your files. And here you can see, here's that PDF file for the lecture, chapter 3, part 1. Okay, so you can always move it from your downloads. So if you don't see this, go to downloads. So this is my downloads folder. Here's my desktop. Here's my downloads folder. Okay, so go to downloads, and you can either cut and paste it into a new folder. Okay, so I'm going to right click and I'm going to cut or copy it. Either one will work. I'm going to cut it from the downloads folder, and I'm going to go to the desktop. And I already created a folder for chapter 3, part 1. If you want to create a new folder, just right click, new. It'll create a new folder. I'm going to go ahead and create a folder for part 2, even though we haven't covered part 2 yet. So just to show you how to create a new folder, and I'll call this chapter 3, part 2. Okay, but I'm going to place it in part 1. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and paste it. All right, so there's my PDF file for the lecture. If you already know how to do this, you can go ahead and move forward on the video. Okay, so you can skip this part if you already know how to do this. And just forward on the video to the step-by-step drawing of problem 3-13. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close these lecture notes. All right, so I'll close the tab for the lecture notes and go back to Canvas. And let's take a look at the assignment. Okay, so let's take a look at the assignment. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and open in a new tab, or I can say new window. So here's my new tab. All right, so again, you can also download this PDF file with your assignment. Okay, so as I mentioned in the previous video, this is from the back of your textbook, Chapter 3. Now, even though the author asks you to sketch the 3 views from scratch, front, top, side view, I decided to turn this into an AutoCAD assignment. So you are going to open up the AutoCAD assignment, problem 3-13, which I'll show you in a minute. And you are to complete the 3 views. So the 3 views are incomplete. So if I go down to page 10, you'll see the solutions. So if you go all the way down to page 10, here are the solutions. So okay, so this is the solutions for problem 3-13 and -15. Okay, so these are the 3 complete views. So you're going to do this in AutoCAD. Okay, so let's go back to page 1. Okay, so here's page 1, the incomplete 3 views. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. You know what? I'll leave it open. Let me go back to Canvas. And I emailed you zip folders, one with AutoCAD files and one with the 3D XML files. So 3D XML, those are files that can be 2D. In this case, it's 3D models that I created in a different software, so you can use as visuals. All right, so you can also download them from here. But let me go ahead and do this from email. So some of you prefer email. So if you go to your email and look at these files, so same files you'll find in this email that I sent you. Okay, so here's the lecture notes, the PDF file for the problem, starting with problem 3-13. And here are the AutoCAD files, and it's compressed. You can tell by the zipper. Same thing with the 3D XML files. So let's go ahead and download the zipped folder. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and download. Okay, so there it is. We downloaded the folder, and let's go ahead and also download the zipped folder. Okay, download of the 3D XML files. Okay, and there they are. They've been downloaded. You can go to open and it'll take you to the downloads folder, or you can go from here from your folder, from your files, you can look for that downloads folder. So let's go ahead and go to open. See, and it'll take you directly to the downloads folder. And here's the zip file, right? Let me go back to downloads. Okay, notice that the files are zipped. You need to unzip these files. But before I do, I'm going to move them over to my desktop. So I'm going to hold on to the control key and select both zipped folders that I just downloaded. And I'm going to cut and paste, or you can copy and paste. I'm going to cut. I'm going from the downloads folder, right? Downloads. And I'm going over to the desktop, to my new Chapter 3 Part 1 folder. Okay, click, and I'm going to paste them. Okay, if you also want to paste the handout here, go for it. Okay, so I'm going to right-click on the AutoCAD file, and I'm going to extract. So these are compressed files. So again, imagine you are traveling, need to run to the airport, you're trying to shove as many clothes as you can into your luggage bag, and you try and compress them. So this just makes it easier to email, takes up less memory. Okay, so now I can right click, extract the files. So now you get to your destination and you're ready to put on your summer clothes, right, for your vacation. Okay, so I'm going to extract all files, and it'll create a duplicate folder. You can change to a different location if you want as to where to save it. I'll just save it here in my Chapter 3 Part 1 folder and extract. And there it is. There's the new folder, no zipper. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing with the .3d.xml files. Okay, so I'm going to right click on the .3d.xml files and I'm going to extract all. And you'll see it load. Okay, so once I'm ready, you hit extract and you'll see it loaded without the zipper. And extract. And there it is. All right, so now let's go to AutoCAD. I'm going to minimize everything here by clicking on this last bar here at the bottom right corner. It'll minimize everything. Okay, so make sure you use your AutoCAD English version. If you're on campus, we're using AutoCAD 2019 English version. Most likely you have 2021 on your personal laptop. If you have an older version, it's okay, it'll work. Okay, so I've already opened AutoCAD. Okay, so this is what you get when you open AutoCAD. So now I'm going to open up my first problem, 3-13. Okay, so if we go back to the handout on Canvas, or if you already downloaded it from your email, this is problem 3-13. And we'll do a separate video for 3-15. All right, so let's go back to AutoCAD. Okay, so I'm going to go to File, Open. I can open from here. Or I can click on the AutoCAD icon and open from here, right? So I'm going to go to Open. I want to open up a .dwg file, right? I want to open an existing .dwg file, problem 3-13. So click on Drawing. And let's go to the desktop. You can click here, Desktop, if you want from here. Or I can go to the pull down and go to Desktop from here. Go to that new folder, Chapter 3, Part 1. And go to AutoCAD, Assignments. And AutoCAD again. And there's problem 3-13. Okay, if you click on it once, it'll give you a preview. If you double click, it should open it. Or I can just open it from here. And open. Okay, so we also have a 3D model that you can use to help you visualize the 3 views. So we have a 3D model that we can open up in eDrawings. Okay, so if you're on campus, you're going to use this little icon, this little E. I think on campus we have 2018 or 2019. They work the same. So eDrawings is just a viewer. It's not to create drawings or 3D models. It's to view them. Okay, so I've already opened eDrawings. Okay, so this is optional. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and open up problem 3-13. So I'm going to go to Open. And I'm going to go to the desktop. I'm already on the desktop. And go to Chapter 3, Part 1. And don't open the 3D.xml zipped folder. Go to the unzipped one. Okay. And click again. And there's problem 3-13. So if you don't see these files, like, hey, it's empty. Most likely you have your filter on. Most likely you'll have something like this. It's like, hey, I don't see the files. Make sure that you go to the drop down and tell your computer to view all files. Okay, so right now it's filtering everything out except for the first option here. So let's go to Show Me All Files. There they are. And it's open problem 3-13. Open. Give it a few seconds. It needs to translate the data to something that you can understand. And there it is. Okay, I want to show it with edges. See how the edges darken? You can see wireframe if you like. Wireframe. Let's go back with color and edges. And there's the isometric view. If I want to see the front view, bam, there's the front view. So as you can see the front view, we have all these object lines, and we're actually missing these 2 object lines on our AutoCAD file. So let's go back to AutoCAD. So here's our front view already started for us, right? All right, so let me start by saying that these magenta color lines are construction lines. I provided these construction lines for you just to make it easy for you to line up your views and line up your new geometry that you create. Eventually, you'll be creating your own construction lines. All right, so we're going to create these two object lines here. Okay, so first we're going to go to the visible layer, go to the drop down, go to visible. All right, so those of you that want to turn on or turn off your dynamic input, anytime you use a command, for example, we're ready to use the line command, click on line command. So you can type in coordinates if you have dynamic input, so that way you can do things on the fly by simply typing in your X and Y coordinates, or you can even type in a length and an angle. Okay, so I'm going to turn off my dynamic input. You can leave it on if you're comfortable with it. Now, if you don't see this icon, dynamic input, okay, you need to load it into the status bar. Go to the very last icon, click on it. And if you don't see a check mark next to dynamic input, just simply click on it. Right now it removed it from my status bar. If I click on it, it'll put a check mark and load that icon into the status bar. All right, so same thing with one that you might want to turn on is line weight. If you don't have line weight on, it'll be hard to turn off the thickness of the lines, right? Object lines are thicker than the other lines. All right, so let's go back. I'm just going to click in space to exit my status bar icons. All right, so again, we're going to use the line command. Make sure you are in the visible layer. Okay, so let's go ahead and create our first geometry. So let's go line command. And notice how it's snapping. So anytime you see a green rectangle, that's an endpoint. Anytime you see a green triangle, that's a midpoint. Anytime you see an X, that's an intersection. It's trying to snap, right? If you don't see, in your case, these might be really tiny. I change my settings so they're larger, and I do it just for lecture purposes. Okay, so, right, so here's object snap. I can turn it off, and notice, oh, I'm in the middle of the command. So that's why it's still on. But if I go back to line command, as if I'm starting over again, notice there's no more object snap, even though I'm in the middle of the line command. Okay, so I can turn object snap back on. There it is, it's back on. So I'm going to draw a line. So to pan, you hold on to the wheel, right? Hold on to the wheel and move your mouse. To zoom in and out, you roll the wheel. Don't press the wheel, just roll the wheel, right? Okay, so here's the front view, and I'm going to draw a line. Okay, so I'm in the middle of the line command. It's asking me for my first point. There it is. Okay, now I want to guarantee that it's vertical. So I'm going to turn on ortho. Okay, so there's ortho. When it's blue, it's on. When it's gray, it's off. Okay, so when I turn on ortho, it's trying to force AutoCAD to create a horizontal or vertical line, as you can see, right? Okay, and click. Okay, now I'm still in the middle of the line command. You can either hit escape on the keyboard to exit. You can hit enter on the keyboard, or you can right click enter to exit the line command, or else it's going to keep creating lines. So hit enter. Okay, so now we're ready to create our other line. So go back to the 3D file. So we have this object line, which represents, I'm going to slightly hold on to the wheel to rotate. I'm holding on to the wheel to rotate here. Okay, let me go back and go front view. So I'm also missing this object line. Go back to AutoCAD. Okay, and notice that it's supposed to line up with the top view. See how that's the reason for these construction lines, is to help you line up your new geometry with existing geometry, right? All right, so I need this corner to create this object line, right? It represents this opening here. All right, so let's go to line command. Okay, let me hit escape to deselect. Notice how I have this selected. You can tell by the grip. So I'm going to hit escape, use line command again. And there it is, okay? And hit escape, or you can right click enter to exit. Okay, we're done with the front view. That was pretty straightforward. Now let's do the top view. Okay, so let's go back to eDrawings. Again, this is optional. You don't have to use the software if you don't want to. Okay, so let's go to top view. There's the top view. So we're missing this edge. Okay, let me slightly rotate. So we're going to draw a line that represents this edge, and the purple surface. Okay, let me go ahead and go back to top view. There it is. Okay, so let's go back to AutoCAD. Okay, so we're missing the line from this vertex here. We're going to draw a line. Now, since we used line for our last command, we used the line command. If we're going to repeat the same command, hey, we used line just recently. That was the last command we used. Let's use it again. So you don't have to constantly be clicking on line command. You can hit spacebar, and it remembers that line command was the last command. And let's go ahead and draw that line. And once you're done, you can hit escape or right click enter to exit. There it is. Okay, we're done with the top view. Okay, now let's do the side view. Okay, you roll the wheel to zoom in and out. You hold the wheel to pan. Okay, the side view. Let's go to eDrawing. So let's go to Isometric View first. Okay, so for the side view, imagine you walk over here to the right and you get a look at it from the right side view. There it is. Okay, so we're missing this object line, right? So let's draw that line. Okay, so let's go back to AutoCAD. Oh, actually, it's already there, right? It's already provided for you. Okay. So are we missing anything in this side view? Well, let's go back. Well, we are missing something. If we go back to Isometric View, there's this pocket here, right? That we cannot see if we're standing over here on the right. So again, think of Jack's mugshot. Here's the front view if you're standing here, staring at Jack. And go over to the right side. If you're standing over here on this side of the building, you cannot see this pocket here. So we're going to use a red line to represent the depth of this pocket here. All right, so let's go back to AutoCAD. So we're going to draw a red line that represents this pocket, right? It's the same as this one. So I'm going to do this the long way. Let me go to red lines or hidden lines. So let's go to the hidden layer. I'm going to use the line command. Okay, so line command, and we're going from this corner. Okay, so we're going to project. So I'm going to do some extra work. I don't need this red line, but I'm going to show you where this red line lines up with where this vertex lines up with the red hidden line on the side view. So you go across here, you hit the 45-degree angle line, click, and you go straight down, and that's where it's located, right? So we're using the construction lines, the magenta construction lines. Click. There it is. And I'm going to hit escape to exit. Okay, so here's the red line. We need to shorten it. It has to be this height, right? It's this height. So I'm going to use the grips. Click on the red line. Use the blue grips to shorten it. And there it is. And hit escape. There's the red hidden line representing that pocket, right? Now we can delete this one, so you can select it, click on it. You can use the delete button on the keyboard or use the pencil eraser and delete. All right, so there's our red hidden line. Okay, we're done. Let's go and check our solutions. So we're going to cheat. Let's go to the PDF file. So if you go to the 10th page, so the solutions are in the back. So I'm going to go to page 10. And there it is. Okay, so we got our top view, front view, side view with the red hidden line. Now some of you are saying, hey teacher, how come you don't see the dashes? You can see it in this solution here for problem 3-15, but we cannot see the dashes here. Okay, so that's where LTS comes into play, right? You can leave it alone. I'm not going to take points off if I don't see the dashes. I want to make sure it's in the correct layer though, the red hidden line or red hidden layer. Let's go back to AutoCAD. All right, so we don't see the dashes. Okay, so let me first turn off these magenta construction lines because I'm done with them. Don't need them anymore. I'm done with the drawing. I'm going to turn them off. Okay, so I'm going to zoom into this red hidden line. I'm going to roll the wheel and see, there they are. They're hard to see, so I know some of you like to be perfectionists, so let's play around with the LTS. Okay, so I'm going to type in LTS in the command line. Remember LTS. Not as easy as 1, 2, 3. LTS, line type scale. Okay, hit enter. So right now my scale is at 0.1. So let me change it to 0.01. I'm just going to move the decimal over. It usually defaults to 1. It should. I just changed it to 0.1 when I sent you these files, at least for this problem. Let me try 0.01. Now keep an eye on the red hidden line. Again, wait till the very end to do this LTS. Wait till you complete the drawing. Later on, I'll show you how to change them individually. But when you do LTS, it's going to do it for all existing geometry. Okay, so I typed in 0.01 and hit enter. Keep an eye on the red hidden line and enter. And it got worse. If I really zoom in, I'm zooming in, I'm rolling the wheel, and I made it worse. Okay, so let me, oh, there it is. So I actually made it worse. So let me double click on the wheel to zoom fit. Double click on the wheel, zoom fit. Let me type in LTS again. LTS, not as easy as 1, 2, 3. Hit enter. So 0.01 didn't work. Let me try 1. Go in the opposite direction. 1. And don't blink. 3, 2, 1, enter. And now you can see the dashed lines. Okay. All right, so we're done with this video. So let's go ahead and save it. Okay, so as you can see up here at the top, this is problem 3-13. So we're going to go ahead and save as. Okay, we're going to save as a drawing.dwg. Okay, save as. And I'm just going to add my initials at the end, or you can use your first name, last name. I'll leave it up to you. I'll go my initials. That way you still keep a copy of the original problem 3-13. Except now we have a new copy with our name, and it's going to be complete. And save it. If you want to save it in a different folder, go for it. I'll just save it in the same folder. Save. And now let's look at the top. So now it's telling me, hey, this file is saved on your desktop, Chapter 3, Part 1 folder. And here's the name of the file, P3-13 and my initials, .dwg, right? So .dwg stands for drawing. It tells your computer to open the file in AutoCAD or in Autodesk software. All right, so I will be uploading this video into YouTube. So let's go to YouTube real quick. Okay, so I'm going to upload the video into YouTube. So if you've already seen the lecture, right? So I hope you saw this 1 hour and a half long lecture. If you go to the YouTube channel, okay, so those of you that are not comfortable with YouTube, I'm just learning how to figure out this YouTube stuff as far as loading videos. Okay, so if you go to the YouTube channel, and here are all the videos that I've posted recently. Okay, so if I go to the videos tab, so this is CAD 5 Spring 2021. Go to the videos tab. Okay, so these are all the videos that I've recently posted. So I will be posting this new video, problem 3-13, and eventually I will load up the other videos, problem 3-15 and 17 and so on. Okay, so come back and check the videos list so you can get the next few videos for this assignment. All right, so once you're done and you're ready to email this file to me, you need to close it first. So make sure you save your work. Once again, you can save it, or you can go save as. So I haven't made any changes, but just to make sure I didn't forget anything, you can always click save. Okay. You're going to want to close it first before you attach it and email it to me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And let me show you how to attach it. So if you're ready to send an email, right, you're going to compose a new email. Okay, so new message. Okay, so you should already know my email address. You can always respond to one of my emails and say, hey, teacher, here's my problem 3-13. Okay, so I'm going to attach. Go to attach. Browse this computer. Okay, so let's go to desktop. Go to Chapter 3, Part 1. And I should have it here in the AutoCAD's folder. Oh, duplicate folder. There it is. And there it is. Problem 3-13 with my initials. Notice it created a backup. Okay, so if something ever happens to your original .dwg file, if it gets corrupted, something goes wrong with this file, you can always use this backup. So even though it's only 2 minutes older than the final one, if you're gonna email me this one as the backup one, just in case this one got corrupted, you have to go in there and change the BAK to .dwg. Okay, so you would have to save it as a .dwg file, right? So that way the computer knows to open it in AutoCAD or in Autodesk software. Okay, I don't need to do this, so I'll just leave it as BAK. That's a backup. Okay, so you're gonna send me the one with your initials, .dwg file. If you send me your backup, that's okay. The one that I really want is your .dwg file, and we're not going to open it, we're attaching it. Even though it says open, it's actually going to attach it. And there it is. If you want to email me one problem at a time, or if you want to wait till the end of the semester, or wait till you finish the chapter, I'll leave it up to you. So you can turn them in individually as you go, or you can turn in a few at a time. I'll leave it up to you. Okay, there's no due date on the assignment. All right, so that's the end for problem 3-13. See you in the next video.